The latest jobs report is making major waves in Washington, with President Donald Trump calling the unemployment numbers rigged and firing the official who oversaw the report. The numbers are showing hiring came to almost a standstill in May and June. Now, here to help us make sense of these numbers is Emory economist Tom Smith. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Can you talk to us about the process of revising the job numbers after the fact? Is that common?
Oh, yeah, it actually happens constantly. The Bureau of Labor Statistics takes the surveys that they have, and then they reevaluate them and they revise the numbers. And so just like we saw a revision of the gross domestic product earlier in the year, the BLS does this on a regular basis.
All right, so President Trump is calling the accuracy of those numbers into question. Do you have any doubts about those numbers?
I do not. I mean, the system that is in place makes it impossible for, let's say, just the bureau chief to manipulate the numbers. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of professionals who are pouring through these figures, and it goes through, you know, something like 30 to 40 different checks before it hits the desk of the chief.
So how do we know, Tom? How do we know that those numbers are going to be accurate? Like, okay, so he got rid of the person who was doing it now. He brings in somebody who may have a totally different outlook. How do we know?
We know because the process has been vetted for, I mean, we're talking about 50 to 60 years in terms of how the process actually takes place. The survey mechanisms, the way that they go about actually processing the numbers. It's not just a spreadsheet sitting on a single person's desktop and having them, you know, like being able to change an Excel cell from one thing to something else. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of professionals who are putting these figures together, and then there's a process before it actually gets to the desk of the chief. And so I believe that those are very, very reliable numbers, and the process works.
What's the overall picture of the job market right now?
Well, it's definitely in flux. I mean, we saw this 73,000 job number come out. People were anticipating something about 110,000 jobs that were going to be created. So they're way below expectations, and the job numbers from the previous months have been estimated down, and the unemployment rate ticked up. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market coming from firms, and firms are not interested in hiring people if they don't know what's going to be happening with tariffs.
Right. So let's say you and we're on the job market right now. What do we take away from these reports?
I think we take away that the market is tight, that firms are less willing to commit to onboarding somebody, spending a lot of time and energy getting people up to becoming productive when they don't know exactly how their bottom line is going to be impacted by tariffs. I mean, you've already reported today how lots of companies are coming out and saying, look, if these tariffs go through the way that they are, they're going to hit our bottom line. We're going to be losing, you know, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in business. Now think about a small business, right? The small business might be losing hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million. Well, are they interested in committing in the new workforce if they don't know how those tariffs are going to hit their bottom line? And the answer is no, they're not.
Yeah. Here in Georgia, we had our own impressive job report recently. Could those numbers be confusing as well? Or I'm sure you trust those as well, right?
Well, no, I mean, of course, I mean, I trust the process. And the truth is that this process has worked for, you know, decades. I believe that the economy of Atlanta and Georgia is very robust. I'm very, very bullish on Georgia. We have an economy that's not focused on one particular industry. In spite of that, though, there are companies in Georgia and in Atlanta that could be very damaged by you know, the tariff policies that have been put out there. And so even a strong report could turn into a weak report in the future if tariffs bring down the earnings of these companies.
All right. Tom Smith, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your insight, my friend. We'll be calling on you again.